they should immediately withdraw from the ICC.
Going to take place later.
The African National Congress yobe ibambe umhlangano wesigungu lesetulu kulembera sonto leta uthatha imalanga lamane.
Confirm that between the
Who am I, you ask?
See, I'm the young blood dressed in ambition,
Cloaked in unrelenting.
Indvuna itekuvakasha kuleli Patricia Dilili iqinisekise ukuthi iyohlakata ibhodi SA Tourism ngolesihlanu. Asikubingelele sikwamukele Tindzabeni tesiSwati la ku DTT hlala nathi sikuphakele tona ngebunjalo bato. Khumbula ukuthi le Tindzaba tiyatfolakala ku YouTube nasenkundleni tekuxhumana uthi SABC Tindzaba.
Lo sahau ubatla ditaba ka leleme la hao indaba ze-SABC umthombo othembekileyo wendaba kuwe izindaba ze-SABC okuyizindaba ongezethemba seziyatholakala ku-digital terrestrial television eyaziwa nge-DTT kanye naku-SABC Plus
ka gore re kwešiša ka kudu-kudu ditaba tšeo di lego bohlokwa go wena.
Fumana ditaba tsa matšhabeng ka leleme la hao. SABC lentswe la hao re ikemetse ha re kgethe mohuka fela.
I-ANC iyobe ibambe umhlangano wesigungu lesetulu kulembera sonto. Lona kuyobe kungumhlangano wekucala ukuthi uthathe isikhathi lesithe njengoba uyothatha imalanga lamane. Kanzi kuningi lokulindeleka ukuthi kudzingidwe. Ludzaba lwencwadi leyabhalwa nobe leyabhalelwa ngumongameli waphambili Thabo Mbeki lapho abhalela khona lisekela lamongameli Paul Mashatile ngelidzaba lephalaphala nesisombululo lesathathwa kunkomfa ye-African National Congress yanga 2017 lapho kwakhulunywa khona ukuthi le live kumele liphume ku-ICC kuletinye indvo lekuyakhulunywa ngato.
Sevele eqinisekisiwe ukuthi mengamelo 7 laseRussia Vladimir Putin umenyiwe kule ngqungquthela yeBRICS lehlelwe ukuthi ibe kuleli live ngenyanga yengci. Kulanza leti ndzaba ukuthi Putin aniwe incwadi lekunyata kuboshwa kwakhe. I-ANC yabese yakhulumisana labo kuhulumende ukuthi bathole ukuthi kahle kahle kwendakalani ngalodzaba lwa Putin. Kungumanje SABC sendele ubito lokuthi uhulumende wakuleli aphume ku-ICC.
They should immediately withdraw from the ICC. And equally, as they withdraw, explore other mechanisms to create a safe passage for President Putin to come and participate in the BRICS summit. We must not allow the imperialist forces to create our country as a new ground for their wars. They want to use this platform in our country to continue their fight. But the biggest issue is that they are afraid of BRICS.
Liseya lasihlalo ku SACP kuvelonke thola sincesi lisole ICC ukuthi inekukhetha lohlangothi tsite.
You see, on the issue of the ICC, what the General Secretary is saying is that we are accusing the ICC of double standards and selective justice. That's our position. And when he mentions this, a number of countries, even on your own research, where are the weapons of mass destruction which they were looking for in the Middle East? None, after they've destroyed that particular country, after thousands of people were killed. Why were they not held to account? If you look at Libya today, the government's in crisis.
Lolunye ludzaba loluhamba emile uma kuhlalwa umhlangano wesigungu lesetulu lembela sono ngolencwadi leyabhalwa ngulabeka kumengameli wangaphambili Thabo Mbeki lapho bekavalisa khona isikhalo sakhe ngamalungu eParliament ANC lapho athe khona sebenzisa ubunyendi babo eParliament kuvikela mengameli Ramaphosa ukuthi aphendule kabanike ludzaba lwephalaphala ngesikhathi kubola udzaba lwaMbeki bomkanje bovu beANC lembela sono bathe kulungelo lakhe mengameli wangaphambili ukuthi akhulume nokumkhathatawo ngeludzaba lwephalaphala.
As a disciplined member of the African National Congress, I think Comrade Mbeki has the right to raise his concerns, and he has not been afraid, and he has never shied away from raising any issue that he's concerned about. He has done it before. I've been in the NEC of the ANC for the past 5 years. He stands up and raises very sharp issues.
Lo mhlangano uyocala ngalesihlanu uphele ngemsombuluko.
Indvuna yethu ekuvakasha kuleli Patricia Dilili iqinisekisile ukuthi uyohlakata ibhodi ye-SA Tourism ngolesihlanu. Lokuhlakata kwale bhodi kuthi ngemuva kokuthi kube nekhala kwabantu balelive mayelana ngeludzaba lekuchaswa kwelicembu laseNgilandi Tottenham Hotspur. Le ndvuna yithi kunengi lokukhulunywa ngumphathi we-SA Tourism mayelana netinsolo tekuthi kukhona lokungahambi kahle kule bhodi. Ekuqaleni kwalenyanga kushiye phasi emalunga le bhodi lasiphohlongo kulawa lalishumi nakunye.
I can confirm that between the 7th and the 13th of April, 8 of the 11 board members resigned. I did raise in my letter some concerns of one, which is the Tottenham Hotspur's deal, also the qualification and experience and representativity in terms of gender, race and disability of the board. And then the last one, I received a letter from the acting CEO making certain serious allegations. I did not receive a response, and therefore I believe that good cause exists to dissolve the board, and I will be gazetting the dissolution of the board on Friday, the 21st of April, and at the same time appoint 3 qualified people with experience to take over the functions of the board until I can start the process to appoint a new board. I'm looking for a person with qualifications in finance, a CFO experience, a person with governance experience, and an experience of the PFMA, and then also a person with experience in tourism. I think that by bringing those key skills together, they will be able to guide the board and to guide the management. We have got targets that were set many years ago, and we are not doing well in reaching those targets. You know, if we compare ourselves to our peer countries in the region, East Africa are doing much better than us, and we have to ask why. And make sure that we improve on destination marketing. So by Friday, at least, we will put the sad saga of the board behind us and fully commit ourselves to improve in reaching the numbers and creating more jobs.
Umbukelo uphawulile ngetinhlelo ke tendvuna Dilili tekutsilita ibhodi ye-SA Tourism.
Ngicela ulihlakaza bese ababopha bavulela amacala okugebengu. Ngeke sithi sihlupheka ngeke singenawo ugesi singenawo amanzi sibulawa ama-potholes bekuthiwa ke uxhaso Tottenham Hotspur.
Isinyathelo esihle kakhulu lesi esithathwe uminister sokuthi lihlakazwe ibhodi ngoba ngempela iningi kakhulu le mali ebezothathwa iyoxhaswa iqembu laphesheya ekubeni lapha eSouth Africa sisokola kangaka.
Mina ngibona ukuthi kusenzo lesinhle kakhulu leso futhi singake saphikiswa ngoba ngeke uthathe inkumbi yemali yoyinika lamanye amave. Awusinde lesinhle kakhulu.
Ikhalo zabaningi kakhulu ngaleli board emva kwemali engaka kwakuthiwa kuzoxhasa ngayo Tottenham Hotspur noma imphakathi usukhala wawubona ukuthi basenelukuluku lokuqhubeka nalolu hlelo lwabo abayibona into wrong ngalo. Mina ngibona nje ukuthi kuhle ukuthi sihlakazwe sibona abantu abasho ukuthi bazosiphathelana.
Lona nobeke ngumbono wembukeli SABC ngede yathweswa ukuthi iphendulela. Sichubekile simo nekungadindi eveni iSudan kulandzela ukutfolana itulu kwembutfo wete kuvikela kulela live nelicembukele emavukela mbuso kanti ke lembi seyindlule nemphefumulo yebantfu labangetulu kwemakhulu kubuka kabanti lelidzaba nalitinyekele titsinza emave emhlaba samukela ke umhlelo wetindzaba tepolitiki SABC Sophie Mkwena memkwena sikwamukele tindzabeni tesiSwati la ku-DTT.
Ngiyabonga.
Sibuka indzaba yase South Sudan ingabe mhlambe nayi imbi ngekubuka kwakho ma iyathatha isikhathi esinganani?
Asazi ukuthi izothatha isikhathi esingakanani njengoba wazi ukuthi abaholi bamazwe baze bayenza isimemezelo sokuthi amaqembu lamabili abeke izikhali phansi kodwa kucacile ukuthi abazimiselanga ama-general lamabili enye ize yathembisa ukuthi izobeka ikhali phansi besilinde ukuthi izolo ntambama bazobeka ikhali phansi kodwa elinye icembu labonisa ukuthi angeke bona babeke ikhali phansi ngakho ke impi iyachubeka ngikhulumisane nongqongqoshe ophethe izindaba zangaphandle eNingizimu Afrika uDr Naledi Pandor naye ubike ngokuthi umongameli uCyril Ramaphosa uzazama ukuthi akhulumisane nama-general lamabili awanxenge ukuthi babeke ikhali phansi sibonile nalo wayemongameli waseNingizimu Afrika uThabo Mbeki naye akhipha istatement ngoba uyazi ukuthi uke waqokwa yi-AU ukuthi asize kulela daba laseDarfur yenye ingxenye yeSudan ngakho ke uyabazi labantu ababili kodwa ke kucacile ukuthi kwamanje impi iyaqhubeka
njengoba usho mesofi ukuthi impi iyaqhubeka sivile kafishane ukuthi eKhartoum solokuqhubeka njalo nekuchuma kwetibhamu ingabe mhlambe yini imbangela hlehle lesuselembi
imbangela ukuthi njengoba kwavumelwana ngomva kokuthi kushintshe uhulumeni lapha eSudan ukuthi amaqembu la alwayo bazohlanganise bayenze umbutho ovukela ilizwe oyi1 amajuni abavumelani ngokuthi kuhambiswane kanjani nokuthi bangazama kanjani ukuthi bonke babe ingxenye yombuso ngakho ke iyo yezindaba ezenze ukuthi baze baqalelele phansi futhi baphinde balwe ngoba abavumelani ngendlela yokuthi bangahamba njani ekuletheni ukuthula kulela lizwe
emaqembu ikakhulukazi emavukela mbuso eDemocratic of Congo empumalanga yalesifundza mama ngilamanye lekavakalise ukuthi akubekwe phasi kakhulukazi dikhali kube netingcoco letiba khona kuletha kuthula nelibumbano nekutinda ikakhulukazi kulela live ingabe singabona yini iphela mhlambe elembi yahulumende lebonakala ichubeka lapha
kuse kuningi okufanele kwenziwe ukuthi kube nokuthula lapho ngoba uyazi ukuthi into ebanga ukuthi kube nenkinga kakhulu ukuthi kuba nabantu labo ababa nokuthi bafuna ukuthi nabo baphathe manje makuba nalo mbango ukuphatha kuba nzima kakhulu ukuthi kuvumelane ngakho ke angiboni ukuthi kuzosheshe kuxazululo lenkinga ngibone ngathi kusazoqhubeka kulobe kuliwa kodwa ke iAfrika iyazama ngayo yonke indlela ukuzama ukuletha ukuthula uma ngikhulumisana nongqongqoshe uchazile ukuthi into esemqoka ukuthi uma ubheka iAfrika kwamanje kufanele ukuthi amazwe ayenza iAfrika kube yiwo abangaphambili ekuletheni ukuthula lapho kuliwa khona ngoba uyabona ukuthi amazwe amakhulu babheke kule yampi ese-Ukraine ngakho ke akukho umuntu obheke ezinye izindawo la kuna inkinga khona ngakho ke kumele ukuthi bahlangane babhekisane bakhulumisane babone ukuthi bangangena kanjani ukwenza ukuthi kuze kukhona kuvumelwane kube nako ukuthula
ingabe mhlambe yini lebangakuthi kugcina kube nemavukela mbuso ikakhulukazi leli vekati leAfrika njengoba sibonile naseNigeria nakhona bavukela umbuso ngelicembu leBoko Haram
kuba nokuthi kube khona abantu nama interest athile bangaphandle kulelizwe laseAfrika ngoba uyazi njengoba ubona ukuthi izwe leli laseAfrika linothe kakhulu ngakho ke kaningi inkinga iba kulamanye amazwe nawo abheke ukuthi kukhona abangakuzuza la eAfrika ngeshwa uthole ukuthi kulelo lizwe o mhlawumbe let's say iDRC kwayona kunenkinga ngaphakathi makungena amanye amazwe angaphandle kuba nzima ukuxazulula impi uma se ike yaqala kulelo lizwe
Lesibuke yaseZimbabwe emongameli waseZimbabwe Emmerson Mnangagwa ungilomunye naye lovete ukuthi sekulungele kwamukela ikakhulukazi bantu baseZimbabwe labatinde kule live leNingizimu Afrika ingabe seyikulungele nganani iZimbabwe ukuthi yamukele labo bantu
Angikholwa ukuthi iZimbabwe ilungile ukuthi yamukele labo bantu uma babuyela ekhaya ngoba uyazi ukuthi umnotho walelo lizwe ulobuse inkingeni kakhulu ngakho ke uma baye ekhaya bayokwenzani bayosebenzaphi bazophila ngani ngakho ke uMnangagwa uma wenza le statement ngoba uya ekhethweni ngakho ke ufuna ukuthi babone kuumuntu ozwelanayo ngakho ke uyenza le statement kodwa uyazi ukuthi umnotho welizwe lakhe awulunganga kwamanje ngeke ukhona ukuthi uphela abantu umsebenzi uma babuyele ekhaya uzifunela nje amavote mnangakho.
Singasho ukuthi kahle kahle lesi strategy sakhe sekukhankasa.
Ukukhankasa ufuna nje amavote njengoba bazoya ekhethweni.
Ingabe mhlambe singalibona ikhetho laseZimbabwe mame liba nekuthula njengoba esathi ukuthi sekunedehlakalo letibikiwe phambilini ikakhulukazi lapho emaphoyisa abophe khona abantu nobeke abopha abaholi nebalandzeli ikakhulukazi benhlangano lephikisako phecelezi iCCC leholwa nguye Nelson Chamisa.
Ukulungisela ukhetho akuqali uma uya ekhethweni inyanga ezintathu ezimbili uma uya ekhethweni luqala mhlambe eminyakeni emibili ngakho ke uma ngikhuluma ngisho ukuthi i-environment ayikho conducive ukhetho ngoba ubonile abantu bakhuluma ngokuthi abakhona ukukhankasa kahle lesikhathi ukubhaliswa abantu abafanele baye ekhethweni kube nako nama complaints ubuya kumaqembu lana aphikisayo ngakho ke kodwa umbuso uthi bona babona ukuthi isikhathi sokuthi baye ekhethweni nale committee ephethe ukhetho lapho ithi ilungele ukuthi ihambise ukhetho kodwa mawubheka ama opposition nabanye abantu abazimele ama NGO nama activists bathi i-environment ayikho conducive ngakho ke kuya ngokuthi ubani umekuphi kulolu daba lwaseZimbabwe. Labo abavumelana nombuso bazathi kulungile ukuthi lelo lizwe liye ekhethweni labo abaphikisana nombuso bazathi akulunganga ngakho ke indaba enzima kakhulu ngiyaqabanga ukuthi kusasa njengoba umongameli uCyril Ramaphosa azobe exoxisana nomongameli waseNamibia uHage lo ophethe ezokuphepha nokuthula nepolitiki kuSADC yenye yezindaba abazabhekisana ngayo ukuthi ngabe kungenzwani ukuthi uma kuyiwa ekhethweni eZimbabwe indaba zihambe kahle bonke abantu bazukuthi baye ekhethweni elikhululekile.
Sikubonile emaveni lahlukahlukile ukuthi uma sekusonzela likhetho nasekutoba nelikhetho kuyaye kube netibhelu netimbi letiba khona sikubonile eveni Kenya nakulamanye emave ingabe mhlambe yini lengendiwa mhlambe la eAfrika ukuthi uma sekufika ekhethweni kungabi naletinkinga tekula letiba khona kube likhetho lelithulile nje lelihamba ngendlela lefanele.
Ngicabanga ukuthi into esemqoka ukuthi laba abaphethe ezokuphepha bafanele benze isiqinisekiso sokuthi abathathi uhlangothi uma kuziwa kuma politics. Into enyesibili ukuthi lama committee lawa ahambisa ukhetho njengoba yaseNingizimu Afrika sine IEC azimele support o mhlambe awazweli umbuso ophethe yiyo nje indlela engenza ukuthi ukhetho eAfrika luhambe kahle. Enye into ukuthi abakhi ama citizens weAfrika ngawo bona ngokwabo bafanele benze isiqinisekiso sokuthi bayazi ukuthi yini efanele bayenze njengabantu abaphila kulelizwe ngakho ke bangasabi kakhulukhulu ulusha ngoba lona ke siyazi ukuthi izwe leli leAfrika lisezandleni zabo ngakho ke uma bangalwi ukuthi izinto zihambe kahle hayi ukulwa kwezikhali ngamanye amagama uma banga participate kuma elections nokuthi izwe labo lizwakale sizohlala sinezinkinga ezifana nalezi esibhekane nazo kakhulukhulu uma ubheka indaba zokuthula.
Sekuphela iminyaka lethi ayibe ngu50 inkosi Mswati wesithathu wathatha Tindzaba ekubusalela live laseSwatini ingabe ukhona yini umehluko mhlambe kulela live sukela yathatha inkosi?
Akunamehluko uyazi ukuthi abantu abaningi sikhuluma nawe nje kukhona abantu abalokuba bamacha bakhala ngokuthi baqindezelwe futhi bakhala ngokuthi ukhumbule ukuthi uye kuphela izwe lonke ophethe amandla wokubusa njengenkosi kwamanye amazwe amakhosi awaphathi ilizwe baba ceremonial kuba nombuso okhethwa abantu umbuso wentando yeningi kodwa eSwatini uye ophethe yonke into ngakho ke abantu bayaqhubeka lapha ukubhikisha kodwa ke uyazi ukuthi ngoba unamandla amakhulu uyabaqindezela lemibhikisho iyaqindezelwa kungakho sibonile kulezi insuku ezidlulile nezinyanga ezidlulile kukhona nabanye abantu abashona uma kuba nama protest lapha abanye baya hamba bahamba kulela lizwe baya kwamanye amazwe ngakho ke inkinga inkulu lapha eSwatini.
Mesofi sibonge kakhulu isikhathi sakho lesiphe sona namuhla.
Ngiyabonga.
Besikhulumisana naye ke la Mesofi Mkwena lo ngumhleli kakhulukade wetindzaba tepolitiki nebe temave angaphandle ikakhulukade la ku SABC.
Mhla nemfice enyangeni yamabasa 1968 kwatalwa Makhosetive Dlamini lo watiwa ngenkosi Mswati wesithathu indvodzana yenkosi Sobhuza wesibili kaManzini eSwatini. Inkosi Sobhuza wesibili yakhothama ngalesikhathi indvodzana yayo ineminyaka le-14. Kulandzela kukhothama kwenkosi Sobhuza munye wemakhosikati ayo waphoceleka ukuthi athathe isikhundla njengoba indvodzana yakhe beyiseseyincane. Ithe ngekuba neminyaka le-18 inkosi Mswati wesithathu yabuyela ekhaya lapho yabekwa khona njengenkosi yesive seMaswati nenhloko yemndeni. Kanti waba inkosi lencane kunawo onke labekabusa ngaleso sikhathi. Nanyalo inkosi Mswati wesithathu kusele yona kulivekati leAfrika lebusa ihole hulumende ngalokuphelele.
Bukhosi besive semaZulu buniketwe imali lengu 79.5 million wemarandi kuloluphakelo timali lwesifundza iKwaZulu Natal lokho kumenyetelwe ngundvurankulu walesa sifundza noMusa Dube-Ncube nakethula luphakelo timali lwakhe etindlini tesishaya mtsetfo. Dube-Ncube utsi
uNomusa Dube-Ncube uthe sekusetshenziswe imali engaphezulu kwesigidi esingamakhulu amane ukulungisa ingqalasizinda eyalimala ngesikhathi sesikhukhula ngonyaka odlule. UNdunankulu uthi iyaqhubeka imizamo yokuthuthukisa umnotho wesifundazwe. Ingu-79 million imali ehlinzekwe indlunkulu kaZulu. Le mali ikhuphuke kakhulu kunaleyo yangonyaka ophelile ebingu-67.3 million. Kule minyaka edlule uhulumeni wesifundazwe utholeke ukugxekwa ngenani lemali ayabela indlunkulu.
Kubalekile ukuthi ibe khona imali ebekelwe nobisabelo esibekelwe ukuthi kwenziwe imisebenzi eminjalo njengemicimbi kanye neminye imisebenzi ekufanele yenziwe isilo kanye futhi nokukhokhela abasebenza ngaphansi komnyango owangamele isilo.
Amaqembu aphikisayo athi yasamukela lesabelo mali.
Sikholelwa thina njengeqembu leIFP ukuthi ondlunkulu besilo esebuzile nezigodlo zesilo zonke zidinga ukugcinwa njengamagugu esizwe sikaZulu nesifundazwe sakwaZulu Natal.
That I believe the royal household and the king, there are two opportunities for self-generation of revenue there. One is agriculture, and that I spoke to the late king about, and we put some ideas together, but it's never been implemented. And the other was tourism. I think those are the two areas where we can create revenue to actually try and assist with the self-sustainability of the royal household and of the king.
uDube-Ncube uthe uhulumeni uyalisukumela udaba lobelelesi obenzeka emngceleni wakuleli kanye nelase Mozambique. NginguSimphiwe Makhanya kwezindaba zeSABC ngisemgongondlovu.
Seyibekiwe ibhodi lensha ye-SABC yamalunga la-12 latawuba kuyo iminyaka lesihlanu amemetela lebhodi lebelindve ngalabovu Mengameli Cyril Ramaphosa uthi i-SABC isikhungo lesibalulekile kuntsandvo yelinyenti yesive kanti wethemba ukuthi lamalunga lebhodi atawucinisekisa kutinda kutimela nekusebenta kahle kwalenhlangano lesakatela sive.
I-SABC besolo ide ibhodi kulandzela kuphela kwesikhathi sebhodi yangaphambilini. Mengameli Cyril Ramaphosa ucinisekise emalunga la-12 latawusebentela lenkampani lesakatela sive kule minyaka lesihlanu letako. Lokhu kutangemuva kwekuthi iPhalamende inikete Mengameli emagama emalunga la-12 lekufute awakhethe. Kubambeleleka kwekukhethwa kwale bhodi kwaholela ekutheni iMedia Monitoring Africa iyise lodzaba enkantolo yomthetfosisekelo icela lenkantolo ukuthi iphocelele Mengameli ukuthi akhethe lamalunga ngekushesha. Katuchero Ramakumba ukhethwe kuba ngusihlalo wale bhodi kanti noMvuyo Baki utawubalisekela lakhe. Lamanye emalunga la ingcenye yale bhodi afaka ekhathi iphathiswa amagopheni lobeka inhloko yetindzaba lobeka sebentela lenkampani Dr. Rini Home Namphothedu.
SABC stayed such a long time at the board, and I think we should learn a lesson there that for a key institution such as the SABC, it cannot afford to stay without a board, and we merely accept that such responsibilities will be deferred to the CEO. And I think both of us sitting here and knowing what's happening, particularly around media houses across the world.
Inhlangano letimele iSOS ithi le bhodi lensha kufanele ibeke embili kutinda kwetimali kwenhlangano yeteksakata kude isimame imali yawo.
The GCEO actually highlighted that there's about 20 business plans that need to be passed. So that would also be a priority because those business plans would actually, aid the SABC to become more financially stable. And, financial stability of the SABC is actually critical at this moment, given that, in the previous year, the Auditor General highlighted, that, the SABC might not even continue to exist if, we don't improve our financial systems. So I would say, the financial restoration of the SABC is actually a priority.
iSOS ithi inelithemba lekuthi lokubekwa kwale bhodi kutawusebenta kuqinise kuphathwa kwemabhizinisi kulomsakazo wemphakathi.
Mengameli Cyril Ramaphosa umemetele amalunga lamasha ebhodi ye-SABC latawusebentela lenkampani lesakatela sive kule minyaka lesihlanu letako. Kuthethe inyanga letisithupha ukuthi i-SABC ibe nebhodi lensha kulandzela kuphela kwesikhathi sebhodi yaphambilini. Kubuka kabandi ngaloludzaba samukela umgcini mafa we-South Africa Editors Forum aphinzeke afundzise tifundvo tekusakata enyuvesi iTshwane University of Technology eChamano Makhadi asikwamukele endzabeni tesiSwati la ku-DTT.
Siyabonga.
Ingabe nisanef niyayamukela ibhodi ye-SABC?
No, absolutely. I think we have been waiting for this for quite some time. Remember, this should have been concluded already by now. I think when that process was finally concluded, it must have been in December last year. The board that was there before, they finished in October. So it's been over 6 months. So we do welcome, and we are also pleased to know that there's a good mix of expertise and skills here.
Gafishane nje ngekubuka kwakho Mr. Makhadi, kahle kuchaza kuthini lokhu ikakhulukazi ku-SABC njengoba esathi ukuthi i-SABC ngilenye lebukeka ngathi inedinkinga kuswelakala kwetimali njengoba sibonile naphambilini kukhishwa letinye ti-70.
There can never be any doubt. There's definitely, challenges so far as money is concerned. I think it has come quite a long way. But I do think that what really needs to be done is to make sure that the new board or the incoming board, they do everything possible. Remember, the importance of the SABC it's big. The Constitution talks about freedom of media, freedom of expression, but of most importance is the freedom to information. As it is today, SABC broadcasts through its different platforms to millions of South Africans. And that's the one thing that makes really the SABC far more important than any other media platform that at least I can think of in our country. So therefore, it is quite important that the new board, they get down to the task. Hence I'm saying it's long overdue. A number of things need to be considered. If you were to ask me, what do I see as some of the immediate priorities? Obviously, we will not be able to talk about the financial turnaround strategy without dealing with things like content. Content is absolutely critical, simply because we are at a time where there's so much competition out there, and I can go on and list so many examples, absolutely critical.
You're talking about content. Ngekubona kwakho uyayibona ibhodi lensha mhlambe itane content lensha or sibona kushintsha some of the shows ku SABC?
Okay, let's work with practical example. If you look at the market today, and I'm talking about how people consume content, it has changed greatly. If you look at the last 5-10 years, so much has changed. You have today your Showmax, your Netflix into our spaces, but also through our gadgets like cell phones, people no longer sit and watch television as they used to back in the day. So, but also at the same time, you know, if you were to look at the multi-choice, you know, space, for example, there's so much that is happening there. Whether you're talking entertainment programs, documentaries, there's just so much happening in that space. And obviously, and that market, and I'm talking about the audience, these are the people that back in the day they used to be with the SABC. So therefore, they really need to come up with new strategies in terms of how they are going to package the content in its different forms. I mean, you're talking about, amongst other things, entertainment being one of the, you know, the mandates. Yes. I mean, you have so many soapies here, you can list them, your Mubango, your Generations, and so on and so forth. Going back to those really good storylines which has attracted people for many years. And that's where revenue, obviously, you know, is going to come from. But of course, and I've listened to people talking about issues of the license and so forth. I really don't think licenses are going to make a great significance in terms of making money for the corporation. But content, I have a very strong view around content here.
It took our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, approximately about 6 months to appoint the new board. Ngebuka kwakho kube yini mhlambe le mongameli abe nekubambeleleka kumemetela le board lenje?
Of course, there would always be different theories, different school of thoughts. But for what we know is that the president was waiting, and all that we know is that he wanted certain individuals to be vetted. But I mean, that process, quite frankly, if we're to be honest, it is the responsibility of Parliament. And I think by the time they made an announcement of those names, that process, clearly, it was already concluded. Obviously, we began to hear stories about perhaps maybe some names within the candidates causing some sort of discomfort. But something that we should never see really, because it sort of undermines, you know, the process. But we are now here. We are happy that the president has, you know, signed, and you know, those that have been tasked with the responsibility, I can only hope that they also understand the importance, because this is a very important institution. I have argued it throughout my career to say SABC plays a very pivotal role. You can name all the platforms that we have, but SABC, it reaches the masses of our people in South Africa. Yeah.
You're talking about role ledlala SABC kakhulukati kubantu base South Africa. Kungenelela noma interference yepolitiki kule institution ngabe kunemthelela longanani?
I'll tell you one thing, we should never see any form of interference, whether it's political interference, business interference. Of course, there are, you know, different types of interference. SABC should be independent in terms of how they, you know, tell stories. We must it must have the you know, independence, and I mean editorial speaking, right? So it's quite important that those that are coming in, they also support, you know, that, because it's right at the center of our democracy. It is the only way we are going to build and make sure that South Africa continues to strive. We don't want to see this thing where because so-and-so belongs to this faction or that political party. And that is not the role of the SABC, nor any media for that matter. Theirs is to tell stories as they are.
Kuphuma kancane kakhulukati ku SABC. Ingabe ngitiphi mhlambe tingcinamba leni kuhlangabetana nathi esikhathini lesinyenti ezinini abantu beTindzaba? Sort of like my problems lenokwa encounter as inhlangano as iSANEF.
No, obviously there will always be a number of challenges. If you are talking broadly speaking, I mean, amongst other things, we do encounter problems such as access to the courts, for example, and we always communicate and get those in charge to understand the role of journalists, the importance of the media. That's just one amongst others. But yes, you also have for example, challenges of harassment, safety of journalists, sometimes where communities do turn against journalists. Sometimes it's also perpetuated by statements that are made by leaders, which sort of, turn the situation on the ground to be sometimes violent. So those are just some of the things that we encounter. But from time to time, we are always, in conversations with people, helping them to understand, particularly our communities, because journalists are there to serve the interest of communities. Yeah.
In 30 seconds, do you think I'm a journalist way to anayo freedom or media per se yonge banayo freedom?
Let's be fair. Yeah. From 1994 to where we are, so much has changed. Within that context, South Africa, comparatively speaking, much better. Yes, there will continue to be challenges here and there, but as we address them, we also appreciate the fact that, there is media freedom in South Africa, despite the other challenges. I'm telling you, the South African media, I think, is very vibrant. I can't think of any other country in the continent, frankly speaking, that is so vibrant, that will always challenge anyone, any day.
Mr. Makadzi, asibonga kakhulu isikhathi sakho lesipesona.
Siyabonga kakhulu.
Thanks. Nguye Mr. Makadzi lebesikhulumisana naye ke la sibuka nali litsabe kakhulu kade lekucoka kwayo ke la iboard ye SABC ungilomunye ke la longumgcini mafa wayo ke la editors nobi SA Editors Forum ikakhulu kade la kule live leningizimu Afrika. Kushoda kwabothishela ifenisha yesikolo nekugcwala nobeke nekugcwala ngalokwecile kuyaqhubeka nekutsikabeta kufunza nekufundisa itikolweni taseMpumalanga Kapa letingcinamba titsikabeta kakhulu sikolo semabanga laphakeme inongemane lesengqeleni bothishela kanye nebafunzi bathi sekupheleke iminyaka leminengi ibikiwe lenkinga kulelitiko letemfundo kepha kude lokwentiwako kuyilungisa.
Sikwelinye lamagumbi okufundela apha enogemane Senior Secondary School ndizawucela ke i-video journalist yethu Natasha Maquntulo asibonise ngoba eligumbi lelinye lamagumbi angekho mgangathweni ligumbi lethutyana kodwa kwalona sele lilidala njengoba ubona abafundi baxinene bahleli ngabathathu esitulweni esinye idesika azikho abanye kangoba besixelelwa yiboard elawula isikolo ithabanye baye bacela kubamelwane abalapha esikolweni kwabanye abahlali ukuba baphiwe babolekwe izitulo zokuhlala. Esisikolo besikhe satsha kwiminyaka embalwa egqithileyo kodwa namhlanje akhonto yenziweyo lisebe lezemfundo kambe bathi abazali baye bathatha imali yesikolo basebenzisa yona ukwakha enye ibloko kodwa sinaye umama uRhoyi ongusihlalo weboard elawula esisikolo sasenogemane. Mam Rhoyi uthi kudala nicela uncedo kwisebe lezemfundo kwenzeke njani?
Kudala sicela kwisebe lezemfundo kodwa sisalindile la sithembisa okokuba lizawusinika amagumbi ethutyana. Namhlanje sisalindile afika lawa ngamaqaqobana sancedwa ngabahlali sancedwa ngukhansile ngezitulo njenganangoku abantwana behleli kuxinzelelo.
Umama uRhoyi ke lo ongusihlalo weboard elawula isikolo esitsho ke ukuba bazama ngandlela zonke ukuba baqinisekise ukuba nangona kukho ezingxaki bajongene nazo ezifana nokugxalathelana nokugcwala ngokugqithisileyo kwabafundi kumagumbi okufundela nokushokoxeka kwabafundi sintsapho kunye nemeko engalunganga ngoba bebethetha nangoba iifestire esikolweni zaphukile neminyango ingakumbi njengoba ngoku kusebusika abafundi bathi bajongane nemeko ezingalunganga okanye ezimbi zemozulu. Kanti ke sithethile nesebe lezemfundo lona lasixelela ukuba kulonyaka kukhona izikolo ezilikhulu elinamashumi asibhozo ekulindeleke ukuba zithunyelwe ifurniture yesikolo. Sinethemba ke ukuba esisikolo saseNogemane naso sizawuthi sixhamle. Masibule buyisele intambo kwigumbi lendaba.
Kuletinye nasibuya ititolo kundengandenga kwemnotho kuchubekile nakulenyanga lesibuya kuyo njengoba betelibalo bathi bathengi sebafaka sandla kakhudlwana ekhikhini kwatise ukuthi inzengo yetinvo ikhuphuke nobe ikhuphuke nga 0.1%. Asikwamukele mbukele esigabeni sesibili hlala nathi sichubeke nato. Kundengandenga kwemnotho kuchubekile nakulenyanga lesibuya kuyo njengoba betelibalo bathi bathengi sebafaka sandla kakhudlwana ekhikhini kwatise ukuthi inzengo yetinvo ikhuphuke nga 0.1% isuka ku7 nobe ku7.0 ngendlovana yaya ku7.1 ngendlovulenkulu. Lokhu kumangalisene bahlati betemnotho bebalinze ukuthi inzengo yetinvo yehlele ku6.9%.
Kudla netinatho letinganatshwala kwenyuke nga 14.0%, kanti isibalo lesengete nga 2.4% kulenthengo lembecolo yalokuthengwa kwetitolo lengu 7.1%. Kulandzelwe kwenyuka kwetindlu netinsita nga 4.0%. Tekutfutsa nato tenyuke ngemaphesenti langu 8.9, kanti tinhlobonhlobo temkhicido yetimphahla tenyuke nga 5.9%. Kusenjalo sehlile silinganiso semandla emali setimphahla.
Umndeni loseBuckley West ithutene Kimberley enyakatho Kapa kusolakala ukuthi ushaywe esakeni ebugebengwini lobendeke eposini. Lobugebengu lobuhleliwe buthathele abantu imali yabo lebayisebenzele emadima. Lo mndeni uthi usele ubambe wangephasi ngalesikhathi ubona ukuthi imali linganiselwa ku100,000 emarandi lebe batibekele yona isetshenziswe etitolo kanye nasetindzaweni letehlukene.
Lo mndeni lokanakise eBuckley West nenyakatho Kapa udumele ukhale timatrons. Usola ukuthi ushayeleke esakeni lapho imali bebagcinele yona ePost Bank ikhwabanisiwe. Le mali linganiselwa etinkulungwaneni letitlikhulu demarandi. Statement lesichamuka ebhange lesisetandleni kwetindzaba SABC sikhomba ukuthi le mali yakhishwa phakathi kwaleli bhange esakhiweni saleli bhange lesiseKimberley. Nekuthi kwasetshenziswa likhadi kubhadala etitolo letiseKimberley kanye nasesifundzeni saseNorthwest.
Around on the beginning of November, that's where I went to post office in Buckley West. That's where I find that my money is missing on the account. There were some transactions that I don't know about it. So I started a journey of opening a case at a post office in Kimberley for internal investigation.
Lomndeni uthi uphoxekile ngalelo phenyelo lentwa amaphoyisa sekundlule tinyanga letisithupha solokwaqala lo monakalo.
I discover that some of their employees are the one who used to log into my account.
Lesehlakalo sishiye lo mndeni esimeni lesingagculisi.
We are heartbroken about what happened. We can't even pay school fees for one of our children. The money we use it for school fees and necessities in the house.
Emaphoyisa asenyakatho Kapa athi aphenya emacala amaningi ukukhwabanisa lokufaka ekhathi kulahleka kwemali yesibonelelo sebantu labangasebenzi. Kuletinsolo etivetwe ngilomndeni wakasehako liposi la kuleli lithi alikho esimeni lesikahle sekuthi lingakhuluma ngalelo dzaba kepha litowenda luphenyo.
Nasivakashela itimakethe tetimali sithola ukuthi lirandi lehlile nalicathaniswa netimali takulamanye emaveni. Lirandi libita 18 rand 27 cent nalicathaniswa nelidola lasemelika. Pondo waseBritain ubita 22 rand 67 cent, li euro libita 19 rand 98 cent. Bakithi bekuhle kuhlanganyela kanye nathi ikakhulukazi etindzabeni tesiSwati. Nalamhla sithi beka khona la kanzi ke siyalandzela simo selitulu sale kahle.